Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk. This morning, I've been thinking about a subject for a while. I'm just going to call it thinking globally. When it comes to conflict resolution, what are some of the things that we can do? And it made me think about universal truths, especially with everything that's happening now. People are all ranting, "I'm right," and here's you. And so I know I didn't really finish that, but you understand what I'm talking about. There's a lot of stress going on right now. So one of the easiest ways to resolve conflict resolution is to think globally, not locally. And let me just explain. If you think of the planet, the actual planet, the sun rises on the east and sets in the west, no matter where you are on the planet. That is a universal truth. Everyone understands that. We all can agree on that. There really isn't any conflict. However, if I'm in the northern hemisphere and I want to go towards the equator, I have to travel south. So if I'm in Arizona, I'm going to travel south. Yet, if I'm in the southern hemisphere and I want to get to the equator, I have to travel north. So if I'm in Australia, let's say, I want to go to the equator, I've got to go north. Now, you have somebody from the north going to the south, someone from the south going to the north. Both of them are saying this is the way it has to go. A person in the northern hemisphere says the right way is to travel south. The person in the southern hemisphere says the right way is to travel north. And they will always be at a conflict, never see the same point of view because it's where they are locally. So if I'm looking from my local perspective, I'm unable to see the other points of view or the other positions. As long as I sit in the northern hemisphere and I say travel south is the right way, I will never be able to comprehend or understand that somebody in the southern hemisphere has to travel north. Now, I know I'm not wanting to give a geography lesson, but this is exactly what comes to it. The idea is that for me to understand and implement conflict resolution, I have to think globally. I've got to get out of my point of view and have the ability to look at other points of view. Examine the idea that we've lost the ability to agree to disagree. I was in a training recently and somebody was challenging the facilitator and he said, well, yeah, okay, that's cool. You could disagree with me. You're still wrong. And I thought, that's not what the term agree to disagree means. The term agree to disagree literally means I can disagree with you, have a different point of view, but I don't have to hate you. I don't have to make you wrong. We both just have 2 points of view. So that's what I was thinking about this morning, or pretty much this week, the ability to recognize that both people can be correct. A person traveling in the northern hemisphere to the equator does travel south. And a person who's in the southern hemisphere traveling to the equator does travel north. So even though the two of them are traveling in different directions, they're both correct in their point of view. And so maybe we can expand that a little bit further in our lives and in our own personal struggles, conflicts, trials, and tribulations. I don't want to say this, but think of the election or the Democrats versus the Republicans, any religion against anyone, any group that you're in conflict with. It would be helpful if we implemented thinking globally and recognize that they come from another position, and we don't need to get emotionally upset. We don't need to be emotionally distraught and really get our engines going that we've got to correct those people. I think it would be wonderful if maybe this weekend, when you have a moment, if you are starting to get engaged while you're Facebooking or social media or whatever it is, to recognize instead of jumping on and making a corrective statement, maybe we could just simply say thank you. Thank you for your point of view, or thank you for sharing, and not take it personal or take it on as my personal agenda that I have to correct you and tell you that you're wrong. Yeah, Kim, it's all about perspectives. Thank you. Great word. So thank you for joining me this morning on our little coffee talk. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Again, I want to remind you that Monday will be another insight that's coming up. I believe we're doing self-care, and then following Wednesday will be another opportunity for us to express gratitude. And as always, I would like to say thank you for keeping the spirit of Omega alive. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye now.